In case you can't tell from the name of this channel, I love vintage, and I have a little bit of vintage I want to show you. First up, we have the 80s coming in hard and fast with this psychedelic lime green and navy jumper. This just makes me want to tell people I was born and raised in West Philadelphia. Does this not just look like something the Fresh Prince would wear? Either you're a member of the Goldberg family or you're the Fresh Prince. This jumper is just downright funky and cool and 80s. Next we have another woolly jumper, except this one I actually got from my mum and it must have been hers in the 90s, but oh my goodness, it is a piece of art. The embroidery work on this, it reminds me of those beautiful Dior dresses that are all embroidered but in the form of a jumper. And my favourite little detail on this is definitely the little flower on the back. Oh, thank you, Mum. Next I have a cardigan with shoulder pads. Cardigans have really come back around, except they rebranded the whole I'm a librarian cardigan to I'm a sexy Insta thought cardigan. This one probably still falls under the former, but I like it. Next we have trousers. I think pairing these with like a statement belt and maybe some big chunky shoes. I feel like these trousers subvert your boring grey plaid into a real statement of fashion. Going back to the theme of beautifully embroidered pieces, I got this amazing black dress. I'm not sure what era this is from, but it kind of gives me like 60s go-go vibes. The top of this dress is just gorgeous. When you see detailing like this, it can only have been done by hand. This kind of craftsmanship, this kind of work is just, it needs to be appreciated, you know? I love how short the length is as well. I think it's really playful and fun, especially because the top is so conservative. Gives you a bit more leg to show off. This woolly turtleneck is just gorgeous and chic. I love the muted earthy tones. It goes with so much. You can pair it with some blue denims, you can pair it with a skirt. It just rests nicely along the jugular. It's quite plain, quite muted, but you know what? It's just a lovely staple piece. Last year I was lucky enough to get to go to Paris for the first time, and I picked up a couple of things there. So following on from the last turtleneck, I got this red one in Paris. Again, the neck is not too high. The other thing I got in Paris, a beret. This was surprisingly so hard to find in Paris, and I was determined I wasn't going to leave the city without one because it's so classic French, you know. When I put this on, it just makes me feel very bougie, very chic, and of course, very French. A beret. Now that we're on the theme of hats, I also got this. I think this is a sailor's cap and it's possibly German, but you know, I like that it's not too inexplicably nautical. It's sort of just like, just gorgeous, you know? I like this a lot. A few months ago I was down in London and went on a bit of a vintage spree when I was there. There's a vintage shop called Pop, and they're not just in London, I think they're in other places as well, but they are really good and I got, I think, 3 things from there. The first thing is these Tartan check dungarees. These are so soft and luxurious feeling, and one thing I do want to point out is that if you look closely, all of the check patterns actually meet up and join and match perfectly. Now I feel like nowadays when you go into shops, clothes have just been thrown together so quickly that the patterns don't even align, they don't match. When you see something like this, the time has been taken for pattern matching to happen. It's a sign of quality, and it just lifts the garment up that much more. Honestly, these dungarees make me feel like a funky art teacher. I love how wide the legs are. They are so wide. Also from Pop, I got these black trousers. Now these are very plain and maybe a little bit boring to show you, but they're simple, they're classic, they're a staple in the wardrobe, they're nice. The last thing from Pop is this gorgeous black and white houndstooth print pinafore. It's just so cute, I love it! And the gold detailing on it is just lovely. I love how inexplicably vintage this looks, you know? Also in London, there's a really well-known vintage shop called Rocket, and they have, I don't know how many stores, but they have quite a few stores around London, and I picked up 3 things I think from there. This absolutely gorgeous pleated tartan skirt. This makes me feel like I'm in St. Trinian's or like Wild Child. You can make this skirt look quite vintage schoolgirl, or you could bring it more up to date, go with a slightly more edgier look. But honestly, the possibilities are endless. I think this is probably my favourite thing out of the whole haul I have here, but yeah. I did get something else with shoulder pads, and it's this blazer. Now let me tell you, this blazer just makes me feel like a boss-ass bitch. It's the velvet detailing along the collar, along the piping, the pockets and the buttons. You can totally dress it up or dress it down. And again, despite the shoulder pads maybe seeming a bit dated, I just feel like they work so well with this blazer. They do genuinely make you feel like you have a bigger presence, and it does make you feel that bit more powerful. I don't know. The last thing I got from Rocket was these brown loafer shoes. These shoes might be going back to the whole I'm a librarian look, but I think they have a really classic look to them. The type of shoes that are very timeless, and you can wear them so easily as a casual heel as well as a more business professional shoe. I do have a second pair of shoes to show you. These look like they could be Gucci shoes. They're actually from Clark's, but I think they're like 90s Clark's. These honestly make me feel like I'm Rachel Green or Ally McBeal, just, you know, one of those 90s figures. The square toe really has come right back around, and I love the look. I think it's so cool. But yeah, that's these. I actually have 4 different coats to show you. The first 2 are both kind of similar, but they're very different in their individual ways. The first one is this long camel coat. This coat is just so classic, so elegant, so lovely. This camel coat is much lighter in shade than the other one, and it has a different shape and length to the other one. So yes, that is how I'm justifying having 2 camel coats. They are different. This is quite a heavy duty jacket. It is an absolute ton weight. It's so heavy, but it's so warm as well. It's that whole industrial oversized type of look. The next coat I have to show you is this one. It is a real fur coat, and I really don't support companies who actively use real fur, but personally, if it's vintage, I feel like the best thing you can do for the coat is to honour it and wear it. This coat fits me like an absolute dream. As well as that, the lining on the inside is just so cool. Okay, we are reaching the end. I only have a few more things to show you. One of them being this nice bag. It's just a lovely black velvet. I love the oversized button on it. I think it's so cute, like contrasted with this really thin like rope strap. It's very elegant, and of course the gold detailing just makes it. I also have another black bag, but this time it's glossy, it's not velvet. If you spill drinks on this, you'll be able to wipe it right off. So 10 out of 10 for practicality. On top of everything though, it has the most satisfying closure. Last but definitely not least, we have a vintage umbrella. They just don't make them like these anymore. This kind of umbrella is very much a make it part of your outfit type of umbrella, since you can't just shove it in your bag. You're gonna have to be carrying this all around. And of course it's tartan. If you can't tell by this whole haul, I love tartan. I do, I always have. I apologise to anyone who's superstitious in any way. We have finally reached the end. I personally love vintage. I think it's amazing. Let's all boycott fast fashion because it is shit. I'm a fashion student and my lecturers take great pleasure in reminding us all about how corrupt the industry that we're going into is. But yeah, vintage is great. I hope this haul maybe inspired you to shop vintage a little bit, because who needs fast fashion? Not us. I hope you enjoyed it regardless.